there are people pretending to be me that are doing a better job at being me online, and I don't like that.
That's because they're not scared and you are.
Because before, it really didn't matter. Like, I make enough money to not need to be social, but now it's actually interfering with my actual dreams.
We can't let fear make our decisions. And I think you have to ask yourself, do you want to blow up?
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high.
All right, guys, welcome to the Ashley Nicole Show, the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be unique. I have with me Ange, who's an incredible member of our mastermind and a personal finance expert, and we are going to be doing a coaching episode. So here's what that means. She is going to bring 2 fire coaching questions to the show. I am going to, in real time, give her feedback on these questions. And literally, she just told me about them a couple seconds ago. So it's gonna be a fun ride. Take notes. This is gonna be one of those, get your pen and paper out, okay? This is gonna be like a live hot seat. Typically, we only do these at live events, but I wanna let you guys into how I think about business. And there is no better way to do it than this. So Ange, introduce yourself to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. Let everyone know what you do and how you help the customers that you help.
Of course. So I'm Ange Matthews. I'm an investor and a personal finance expert. And what I do is I help make wealth inevitable. And I do this through teaching people simple, practical ways to have a beautiful relationship with their money. I do this for regular people who have way too much money and don't know what to do with it and happen to just always lose it to either taxes or their own spending habits. And I also support corporations in helping them empower their team and their organization with financial empowerment to make better decisions.
Okay, now you said you do this for everyday people who just have too much money. Like, is that the regular practice? Y'all don't know what to do? Y'all just got money, it's just money everywhere. It's just like, I don't know what to do with this $1 million. What do I do with this? Like, do you also have something for the everyday person who's maybe working a job and feels like their money isn't stretching far enough, or is it only for those in the top 10%?
Well, I help people get to the top 10%, really. And so that's kind of the beauty about what I do, is that they don't realize that the money principles that the top 10% uses are, in fact, the money principles they should be using to get to the top 10%.
I love that. Okay, we're gonna have to do a wealth panel at the event and have you on there. I love that. Okay, so tell me, what is your biggest business issue? And did you give us the name of your company?
Happy Investor Method.
Happy Investor Method. Okay, excellent. Now, what question are you bringing to the hot seat today?
So to the hot seat, we've got 2 questions. The first one is, I am an introvert, and so I'm not really super big on social media. I have about 20,000 followers across all platforms. A lot of my counterparts and colleagues have 50,000, 1 million, 2 million. And for me, I'm not terribly social. One is because I deal with personal finance and I am extremely transparent about my own wealth, but what comes up are these meme accounts that try to pretend to be me, and what they do is they post out all this other information that's my real content, but they DM followers asking them to pay them for shady trading practices. And I'm not a day trader, I don't teach that, but a lot of people think, oh, this is about making money, it has to be Ange. So they have been known to slip into the DMs, reaching out to my aunt, talking about, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? I can make you a millionaire. And my aunt's like, Ange, girl, what's going on here? And I'm like, nothing, auntie, like, we're good here. You know, I already manage your accounts. Why are you listening to them? So that's something that has prevented me from actually speaking out and being bold about practicing the good message of financial stewardship and investments, because I'm afraid that someone's just gonna take all my hard work and copy and paste my life. And it kind of sucks.
And I think like what you said at the end is something that I want to point out, is that I'm afraid. And I think that, whenever you have fear making your decisions, it's always going to make the scared decision. And so if the driving factor with you not doing it is fear, then that's the problem, right? And like, if you weren't afraid of this happening, what would you be doing? What content would you be talking about?
If I wasn't afraid of it happening, geez. It's almost so palpable that I can't even think about, I would talk about how to leverage your taxes now to use taxes to make money with investments. Like right now, we're in our tax planning and we made a lot of money this year. Like it's one of our wealthiest yet, but it also breeds a good problem. And so right now I'm freaking out. Like average person freaks out come April because it's tax time. You can't do anything then, right? You have to do everything in the actual tax year.
Yeah.
So I'm running around a place like, oh geez, I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And in me, I'm like, I really want to talk to people like, hey, boo, I know that you're thinking about Black Friday, but you shouldn't be thinking about all that right now. Like, you need to be thinking about these deductions, you need to think about your investment accounts and like just reallocating money. I would love to think about that and talk about that. Like, that's what I would actually talk about, like, in this season of my life.
Yes, okay. That's what you should be talking about. Here's the thing. People are always, and Nicole, can you hand me my phone? Because I'm going to actually I want to look at your social media.
Okay.
But people are always going to copy you. That is just a part of being online. I probably have 1 million dummy accounts out there saying I trade Forex. Thank you so much. Yes. And it's like, I don't trade Forex. People know I don't trade Forex. And I think what you can do is just like let your audience know, make that a part of your educational message. Hey, if you get a DM from me asking about investment accounts, these are the signs that it's fraud. These are the signs that it's not from me. And so have your aunt screenshot some of those messages and make a reel of you showing all these fake messages saying, this is not me. I don't talk like this. This is not how I would communicate with you guys. You can always ask before you respond. You can always email this account and say, is this true? Is this really you? You like educate them on how to protect themselves because they're going to be they already have fake accounts of you out there. And you're not making the content you want to make. So now they're winning and you're losing, and why? You know what I mean? And I think too, as a believer, we can't let fear make our decisions. Not only have I had fake accounts come after me, I have also had, what do you call those people? Trolls. Oh, the trolls. Yes, I have tons of trolls. I just saw a troll today. And, you know, she was just saying like that I hate Black people. And then I have both sides. Like I have you're anti-Black, which is crazy if you know me. But then I also have like the Trump supporters that be coming for me like, I can't believe you support Kamala. You are just that I'm leaving your group. I'm like, girl, bye. You know what I mean? Like I got them both sides. You know, we get all kinds of trolls. So if you're online, that just comes with it. That just comes with it. And I think you have to ask yourself, do you want to blow up?
That's the real question.
That's the real question. And what's your answer?
Yes,
Why the hesitation?
Because I just don't be having time for nonsense.
So then don't allocate a lot of time to it. Where the time comes in is you thinking about them trolling you and sending the DMs and I can't believe they're doing this and they're hurting people. But it's not the people you're concerned about. What you're probably more concerned about, and let me know if this is true, you're concerned about someone getting scammed and believing you did it and then they think you're a scammer, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So that still leads back to you because you didn't scam them. So it's like, that is always going to be a possibility. And the bigger you get as a public figure, the more people are going to lie on you, the more people are going to imitate you, and the more people are going to do things in your name that you probably did not want. That just comes with growth.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, is there another way to do it without that?
Yes, but you can't be the face of your brand.
Okay.
So those are the trade-offs, right? A personal brand means that people are endeared to me in a way that like they're not going to be endeared to, I don't even know, like I'm sure there's like some faceless coaching company out there and it's like faceless coaching company. Oh, I love that company. They give good content. But the moment I come around, they don't say they love the company. They say they love Ashley. They say they love Chris. And so it breeds a level of like loyalty and it breeds a level of trolls. Like you just get both. Okay. But there's more people that love what you do than there are the trolls. And I don't do it for the trolls. I didn't start my business for people who are negative Nancys. I started my business for people who are like, I need to grow my business. I need to make more sales. I'm scared to talk about sales. I'm scared to just say, I want to be absorbently wealthy. I did my business for those people, like who feel like life has been holding them back, or they feel like they're really brilliant, but they don't know how to communicate that brilliance to the world. And they're tired of other people outselling them, even though they're the real experts. Like that's who I do it for. I don't do it for trolls. So I can't let trolls determine how I run my business. And you can't let these fraudsters determine how you run your business, especially when the fraudsters can get bigger than the real you.
Well, that's where we are right now. There are people pretending to be me that are doing a better job at being me online. And I don't like that, because if I had a choice to say what I want, it wouldn't be what they're saying.
That's because they're not scared and you are. Because fraudsters know they're fraudulent. So they're not confused. They're like, yeah, I'm a fraud. That I'm being me. Like, that is how fraudulent people think. Fraudulent people have no fear because they intended to defraud and they're defrauding. So they're doing great. So like, you can't be more scared than the person pretending to be you. And fear is like, you know, God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. So who does it come from? So how wonderful, what a happy dance the devil is doing that you are too scared to be who you really are. When you got people pretending to be you, doing a good job.
Irony.
It's irony, but it comes from fear. And I think your fear probably comes from a good place of not wanting to hurt people, which is why you're an actual expert and not a fraudulent expert. But I think you have to get to the place where it's like, you're going to do, and this is where faith comes in too. I'm going to do what God tells me to do, and then I'm going to pray for the protection of people who are being defrauded. Like, I don't want anyone to be defrauded. That's not my intent. But you doing what you're supposed to do doesn't cause fraudulent people to do bad things. They are fraudulent. That is what they are going to do. Like, a scammer can't do nothing but scam. They don't have another option. They're scammers. That is their job. Our job is to be experts. Their job is to scam. We got to keep doing our job because they ain't going to never stop doing their job.
That's a really great point. And when I think about it too, I do think about, like, even as you're saying it, God's talking to me and God's like, let me take care of that. Like, that's not for you to take care of. Like, you have a message, because I believe I'm the envelope, right? That's all I am. I'm just the envelope with a message. And I have that message. You have a message, right? And I'm just going to deliver it. Yes. And God is like a shield around me. And yes. I'm like walking to deliver this envelope of, you can be ridiculously, fabulously wealthy on your terms, period. And that's just that. And once I deliver the message, I could just go back and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, and I think it comes from knowing that, like, for me, it was similar. I had a similar fear around hiring. It was like, God, I can't hire these people because, like, if I don't pay, like, I can't have people's livelihood being on me. Like, they said they buying houses off what I pay. I can't do that. That's too much. And God was like, well, you're not providing for them. I am. You're just the vessel I'm using to provide for them. So if there was ever a time where you were no longer that vessel, someone else would become that vessel. So don't think that you are the be all end all. You just have to know, like, I'm just the vessel. As long as I do what a vessel is supposed to do, he will do what God is supposed to do. And I have to trust that I'm not inevitably providing for all these people. It's not all on me. When it's all on you, the stress of that is so crippling that you can't move forward in freedom. You can't fly under immense pressure. And so I want you to take that pressure off yourself. There's going to be frauds on the internet. It's going to be worth it. You're going to blow up, and it's going to be good.
It's going to be, I'm like, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So let me see your content. Let's see what this content is.
All right.
So where are you? You're on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram,
okay.
And I have an assistant that helps me post my content, and she batches it. I'm not super duper in love with it, but I'm like, it's there, and it's there.
Now, why are you okay with it just being there?
Because I feel like something should be there if I don't want to actually do it.
Now, why don't you want to do it?
Because of all, well, also, I'm so present in my actual day-to-day life. I feel like it takes me so long to create content that I'm stepping away from being present with my children, being present with my husband, being present, sitting down with my fish in my pond. Like, every time that I'm posting on social and engaging, I'm not doing the thing that I actually want to do, which is be extremely present in my life and enjoying the things that I have.
I get that. But this is your most popular reel that I've seen so far.
That I found, and so much of what I do
yeah, that's in
the
my
process
yard.
Of finding investments for people.
How long did this take?
Ways for them to make money has
I don't know.
Probably like 30 seconds, 90 seconds. And then I get a backlog. So I have ADHD, right? And so the downloads come heavy, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to say da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I won't say nothing for like 2 weeks. But then it's just like, that's so much. I don't want to like power hose the people.
No. Okay.
I feel like a negative Nancy right now, but
no, you're not being a negative Nancy, but you are okay. In the comments, y'all, if you're like, Ange is me, drop a comment so she knows she's not alone. Here's the thing, what I want you to do for your content every day, you wake up, before you brush your teeth or whatever you do, or after you get ready for the day, go to that little reel app, open that camera app, and do this. Hey y'all, it's me and Ange on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. We're talking about her content creation strategy. Make sure you tune into the episode. That was 6 seconds, and that's a reel.
Hey y'all, it's
boom.
Me and Ange on the Speak Your Way to
boom,
Cash.
that's a reel.
And don't your stomach hurt just a teeny bit, like right here?
No.
Like I feel it. It's like, ugh.
And then, you know,
Like, you really just gonna post that right now?
Yes, I'm about to post this live on this chat. What? Look, and then you go down here, you put that little caption on that thing, and then you drag that caption down. It's gonna transcribe that audio, and all I'm gonna do is put a little call to action.
And how often do you go back to check and see? That's also the whole of social, right?
Check
you keep
and
going
see?
back to be like, so did it do anything? Did it impact anybody?
Okay, well, number one, the numbers don't say whether or not there's impact. That's what you gotta know, especially in the beginning. So look, we put our caption on there, we put comment YouTube so they can see the episode, and then we put point of view, recording episode, recording Speak Your Way to Cash podcast.
Make sure to tag me at Happy Investor Method.
I sure will.
I know sense enough to say that.
Look, interviewing
That was so fast.
Happy Investor Method on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. What? Like, that's it. And you know, now you have ChatGPT.
True.
So now you could even do something where, I'm about to show you this live. Look, all y'all about to get this lesson live. So I take this, that's a bare little caption. So I go to my ChatGPT app. We're gonna do this in less than 5 minutes while we making content while making content.
Why not?
Look, we put this in ChatGPT. I do return, and then I just press this little button right here. Hey, I need this to turn into an Instagram post. I wanted to say interviewing at Happy Investor Method on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. We are doing a coaching episode live. Make sure that it ends with comment YouTube to catch up on the episodes and be alerted when this new one comes out. Now, I don't like it to be misspelled and stuff, so ChatGPT will make exciting news. I'm interviewing at Happy Investor Method live on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast for an epic coaching episode. You don't want to miss this one. Get ready for gems on investing, business, and mindset. Want to catch up on this episode and be alerted? Comment YouTube. It even gave me some little hashtags. I'm not about to write all that. Boom. Let me know let me know if you like any adjustments. That's from chat. They gonna know.
I know.
They're gonna know. And another thing you can tell ChatGPT is to use my words. So if you give them some words, just say, use my words. And then boom, less than 5 minutes. We got this, this is up. This is done.
That's crazy. That's beautiful. Okay, maybe I'm overthinking it.
You are 100% overthinking it. Boom, done. I'm in a podcast episode, so I'm not gonna check it now. For those of you who want to be more present in your life, you feel like social media holds you hostage, I should be a spokesperson for this app, but it's called Opal. This is the app. Opal. This app, I can go on this app and say, hey, I want you to block social media for the next, let's do 20 minutes while we finish out this episode. Let's do 15 minutes. And you can put deep focus, start it. It will not let you go on social media. So if you're like, I'm on my family day, I don't even want to be tempted to look at it, block it.
Okay.
Block it, and then you get back to your life. But you don't have to have all those fancy, because right now your social media is curated. And we'll post a link to her social media. So follow her on Instagram and TikTok and all the places. And we'll probably do a screen so you all can see the video that I was looking at. But make sure that stuff is cute, but you just need to talk to the hearts of the people. Even what you said, I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I haven't been on social media because I want to spend time with my family. The whole point of getting wealthy is that you do what you want to do. This ain't really what I want to do, but I do want to get this message out to you all. So for the next 10 days, I'm gonna show up.
I could do 10 days.
10 days.
I could do 10 days. I could give y'all 10 days.
10 days. And tell them what you were telling me about investing and how right now you're thinking about Black Friday. You need to be thinking about your tax liability, which is real. I'm meeting with my accountant Thursday. So those are real things, and that'll get you the clients that you want. But don't make it a big thing. Just talk on the phone. Boom, done.
All right.
Easy.
I'm gonna do this.
That one's easy. And whoever you got posting your stuff, maybe you can make some of those, you can make 20 of those little 30-second reels and have her post those. But if you make them live, you're gonna get more engagement.
If I actually do it live.
Do it live and just put it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try this for 10 days.
Try it for 10 days and let me know the results.
You will.
But that first question comes down to fear. People are gonna talk about you, people are gonna copy you, people are gonna try to scam, and they're gonna use your name. They do that to me, they do that to everybody, especially on TikTok. So that is a part of it. So educate your audience. I made a video hey, this is my only account. I don't have other accounts. You should ask me if you're concerned. I don't do DMing on TikTok for that very reason, because that's where it's the most prevalent. And it's harder to report fake accounts on TikTok. It's easier on every other platform. So I just tell them I'm not gonna DM you on TikTok. I do DM on Instagram, but I'm not gonna DM you about Forex, ever.
Ever. Yeah, neither for me. And they're like, you do investing, so Forex is it. And I'm like, no, what the heck you doing foreign exchanges? Come on now.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay. So we handled that question. Do you feel well served in that question?
I do. To recap, I'm just going to post for 10 days content straight. Do not operate out of fear.
Yes.
If I am thinking, what would I do when I'm not afraid? That's actually what I probably should do.
Yes.
Right.
And do it right away.
And then do it right away, period.
Yes. And what's the second question?
Okay. So the second question is more about planning for the upcoming year and being ambitious versus practical. So what it is that I have a 3-pronged business. I do B2C, meaning that I help everyday people accomplish ridiculous wealth. I do the B2B, where I help corporations also create programs internally for investment education and financial education. I also want to launch a certification program helping others teach the Happy Investor Method, because it is one of the best, if not the best, investment strategy to use for simple passive income. Now, in thinking about this over the course of 1 year, I am thinking, what is an appropriate, reasonable timeline to go through in accomplishing these goals, and how do I structure it so that I can also have God work favor in my life, which is also a huge part of my success. So I'm wondering, should I actually pursue all 3 factors of my business, or should I leave some for 2026? And how do I not overplan so that I can let favor and God's plan really take hold?
And you have a book, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so you need a book for the Happy Investor Method. So you got to put that on your...
So right now I'm actually talking to agents, and one of the, oh, this is so real. This is a trigger. One of the things that I'm getting back in terms of feedback from agents is that I'm not popular enough, that my platforms aren't large enough, which is why I actually led with the first question. Because before, it really didn't matter. Like, I make enough money to not need to be social, but now it's actually interfering with my actual dreams.
Well, number one, this wasn't even planned, but when you were talking, I was like, she needs a book. Like, where's the book at? So number one, I'll tell you this. I released this book. It was self-published, and it has sold more copies than most published books. So that's number one. And we've made more money from our book than most published authors, even on the New York Times list, I'm just saying.
Well, you get to keep a larger share.
You get to keep all of your share, and then our book leads into our services. And I didn't have a company saying, you can't sell in your book, or that's not appropriate, or whatever else. I'll tell you this too. I have over 300,000 people on my platform, and guess what? HarperCollins turned down my proposal for my book. So it's not just about that. I don't really know. I say that to say, sometimes they don't know who to bet on either. And if there is a book, and this is what God has actually been placing on my heart, if I told you to write this book, whether they publish it or you publish it yourself, write the book. You can always have it published secondarily, traditionally. You know, it could be on the New York Times list, you can do all of this. But I'm gonna tell you right now, not all of those authors are actually making money.
Yeah.
And the agency process will slow down the production of your book. I'm not against it. You know, I really like the agent that we've worked with, but I do know that that whole process is not author-centric. It is very much publishing industry-centric, which means they are looking for what they can get out of it, and your message can get lost in translation. I'm so glad I didn't wait on an agent to publish my first book. Will this be your first book?
It will be.
Okay, yeah, like, do it your way. Just publish it. And maybe through you writing the book, getting your manuscript out, doing all of that, by the time you do all of that, you just keep moving forward with your plan. Maybe your agent finds you, and are you still looking for an agent?
I am.
Okay, so I can introduce you to one that I didn't work with her, but I still actually want to work with her. And she's really good. And she's also a believer. She's just a great person. Javon Bolden, I believe is her name. She's really good. That's who I actually wanted to. She's someone that I really like. So when I was considering agency, she was like top of my list, highly, highly, highly recommended. So I'll introduce you to her. And also just know that that may not be the way you want to go. Because you can establish your brand with your book. Before this book came out, we didn't have 100,000 followers. This book came out and it pushed our growth. So books can actually be a source to push your growth. So I would put that on your plan too. And I wouldn't worry about rejections from agents and publishers. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I thought about that because I think about the message of the book, and I'm just like, people really need to hear this message, and to think that it might not get out until 2026 or 2027.
That's what
that kind of hurts me a little bit. And so it's so funny you said that, because God did place it on my heart maybe a couple of weeks ago. Maybe I should just sit down and write the book, because I said, I just want to sit and write the book and get paid to write the book, but I also just want to just write the book.
Write the book, pre-sell the book, have your audience pay you to write the book.
That could work.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for it to come out. And you can couple it with like a Happy Investor Method course, and you sell it for like $9.97. And with that, they get the first copy of your book, they get the course, they get to do a group coaching program with you to celebrate once it comes out. Like we could come up with all types of offers for you to just get this book out now. And if you want to get paid to write the book, pre-sale.
So how does this fit into the 2025-2026 situation when I offered you 3 situationships?
I know.
And you just
now
brought
you
in
got
a 4th. So
well, okay, I'm gonna stand up. Okay, so you have
I'm like, I like it, but remember.
But the book fuels everything, because you got to think about your book as a piece of your funnel, not a revenue stream within itself. So the book is not a revenue stream. The book is like an entryway into your funnel. So you have your B2B, right?
Yeah.
And this is corporate. And then you have your B2C. And what do you sell them?
Mastermind.
Okay.
And a 5-week course on investment strategy.
Okay, mastermind course. And then you think about this book that you don't have yet would end up being the lead-in probably for your mastermind in your course, but it would just be an entryway. So they'd buy the book, thank you page would be the upsell to the course. And then if they buy the course, then they can maybe get a call to join the mastermind. So it would just be a part of the funnel. It wouldn't have to be a whole separate thing. That would just end up being your freebie. And then what was the third one?
Certification program.
And that would be B2C.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Or smaller B, because it's other business owners who don't have investment education within their own practice. And so like accountants, people who do budgeting, who do other personal finance, but they just don't have the investor piece.
So this is really good. So if you know that your 3 products are going to be a course, a mastermind, and a certification, then when you write your book, those are the 3 products you'd sell in your book. You would sell your course, your mastermind, your certification, and your corporate teaching. The mistake I see people make with books is they set up their books to they set up their book as a book instead of setting up their book as a sales funnel. So the book is a sales funnel. So when you're talking about your different chapters and you do your outline, you can submit your outline to me in the mastermind. We should be looking at, okay, your intro should actually sell the course, the mastermind, and the certification. That's how you introduce yourself. But it should also have targeted chapters in there to show people a little bit of what's in the course, a little bit of what's in the mastermind, a little bit of what's in the certification, and then lead them to booking sales calls in the actual book. So it's a great lead gen funnel. And then all of your offers to build your email list and your social following, you'd want all of them to start with the book. So everything would go through the book, to the course, to the mastermind, or through the certification, depending on where they're at. So I think that this is great. I think that you could release it early 2026, or it could be a 2025 thing. You want to give yourself enough time for it to actually be good. I am not someone who recommends you put out a book in 30 days and it's trash. I think that's horrible for your brand. When I pass away, I'm still going to be comfortable with people reading this book. You know what I mean? Like, it's a book to last. So I think the certification, if you put it in your B2C funnel, it doesn't have to be like its own separate thing over here.
Okay.
Because you can still sell it like B2C. So I like a certification, but you have to look at your timeline. So when you make your 2025 plan, if you are gonna put the book and the certification on there, they both take development. So what I think about when figuring out, do I have time to do all this stuff? The first thing I think about is, who's the team? Do you have team members that can lead up this project and this project, the certification and the book?
Not if they're occupied with the regular B2C business and the corporate.
Okay.
So the B2C has probably been about 6 years, 8.5 years I've been doing B2C proper.
Okay.
And then the corporate has been about 1.5 to 2 years, right? And so the team, that's where the team allocation is right now. Most B2C, some B2B. And so to throw in another leverage of like, hey y'all, so we're gonna do certification, I'm gonna have to promote and or hire to get that done.
So there's 3 parts to this. The first part is the development. You'd have to develop a book, you'd have to develop a certification. So for the book development, who you could hire is a ghostwriter. Now, what I recommend is, if you hire a ghostwriter, you get on a schedule with them where you meet with them every week and they write a chapter, and then you review that chapter and you give them feedback, but they're using your words. So they should be really good at like asking you questions to develop the book. For the certification, you would hire an instructional designer. You could find one of these on like Upwork, but an instructional designer is going to be someone who can take your knowledge and put it into a certification platform. Ideally, this person would be like a PhD, maybe with a background in what you are actually teaching, like if they have a PhD in finance or a PhD in economics, like that'd be really good. And they would actually help you come up with a certification, and ideally you can see other certifications that they've developed. If you develop teams to help you develop these assets, then that's gonna make your time a little bit easier. If you have to do them all by yourself, I wouldn't recommend doing both in the same year. Yeah. So the team part of it really matters. And one of the things that I do is I look at what are all the things I have to do for 2025? What are all the launches I already, like to maintain what I have on my plate, what do I have to do? What are the launches? What are the blackout days, the vacation days with the family? What do I already have? And then I look at that calendar first. And then I say, okay, with this calendar, where can I add in a book and a certification? And if you look at that calendar and say, I can't, then you're gonna have to choose one, and then you would choose the one that you think would bring in the most money to what you already have and what you want to do. And to me, that would be the book. Also, if you write the book and you develop and you put your framework in the book, that can serve as a foundation for the certification. One of the things that the book does for us is when you're a coach in our program or you start, you have to read the book first because it goes over our framework. So everyone reads that book first. So it's also a training tool. So depending on how you write this book, it could actually serve to uplift everything else that you want to do. But if you can hire a ghostwriter and an instructional designer, you still would have to be intricately involved in the editing process of the book, which our book took us about a year. For the certification, it may end up being less difficult than the book, but it depends. And then you also want to do your research. So with the research here, you can hire a researcher to look at what are all the other, the researcher will be doing market research, like what are all of the other certifications that are out there? What are all of the other finance certifications that are out there that would be considered competitors? How are they aligned? Buy some of them, look at them, see how they're laid out. Do they have third-party accreditation, and what are the accrediting bodies, and how can I get it accredited? So there's still some research you need to do here to figure out how in depth you want your certification to go. But after you do that, you can analyze like, okay, how long it'll take for me to do this, and can the book kind of serve as a lead-in? I like the book because it's going to uplift what you already have.
Yeah, I like the idea of the book too. I also like the idea of the certification probably being Q4 2025 to like 2026, just because of the lift. And I know that time and effort could be reallocated. If I took all that time and put it to creating a stronger B2B corporate offering, and the book can go with that B2B corporate offering. And then I'm also a planner. So I'm the person that I'm thinking 2030 already.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking once that happens, I can certify people to go into the corporate for the next iteration of that corporate contract when it's on cycle 2 or cycle 3.
Yeah, which is great. And so you may go all in on your B2C for the year and plan to blow up your B2B even more with your certification. And then you wouldn't even have to be the one who actually serves the corporate clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that plan. Now, the final question you asked was, and I'm gonna sit down now, and we're gonna wrap this up. This was good though. The final question you asked was, how do I not overplan and leave room for God's favor, right? Here's the thing. You can't plan God's favor, so you make plans, but you stay flexible. And I think that one of the things that prayer does for us is it allows us to hear when God is like, hey, I know you got that on your plan, but not right now, And so as long as you're staying in prayer, that'll be the time where God is speaking to you. Also, submit your plans unto the Lord. So literally write out your plans, then go to God in prayer like, okay, God, this is my plans. This is what I have here. If there's anything that I should not be doing, let me know. If there's anything that you want to take off my plate, where should I be focusing? Is there anything that I'm missing? Send me people in my life who can kind of speak into the order of these things. Can you order my steps? That is totally fine. Just submit your plans to God and then just be willing and know, hey, these are my plans. This is what I got. But I am totally open to being shifted by the Holy Spirit to do what you want me to do. I don't think that we should not plan just because we believe God. I think we should plan, but be flexible and know that his plan will supersede. So you can't really plan for that. And I don't think you can outplan God's favor. I mean, as long as you're staying surrendered and submitted to the Holy Spirit, you'll know when he'll be like, you're not going there actually. You think you are, but you're not. call them and cancel.
I think that part.
Yep.
It's like my word is my word. And I honor my word. But then also I honor God too, so I get that.
Yeah, and I think you just got, like, your priorities have to be so aligned where it's like, if God says I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not doing it no more. And I think that level of obedience is going to open up more plans for you. And it may mean that you listening to God makes men mad at you. That's what you have to be okay with. Disappointing people because you're following God. And people know, the people who really, like, when you follow God, like, I have friends who I know, they follow God. So, like, we got plans, but if they hear something, it may not happen. And I was at Woman Evolve, and Sarah Jakes Roberts said something that was so good. It was like life-changing for me. She said, I got to ask her a question. I was in the inner circle of Woman Evolve, and she said, I tell people that as of right now, that works, but we'll have to remain flexible.
That's a great answer.
Yep. She was like, nothing is solid, because she's like, I'm following God. Even with her team, she was like, if you want to join this team, that's great, but I follow God. Like, that means it may not feel as stable as you are used to it feeling, because my plans are always surrendered to God's will. And that was really helpful, because I'm also my word is my word, my bond is my bond. And that can take us outside of being flexible enough for God to tell us to do something that's different.
That's actually very powerful.
Yeah.
And it's all about surrender, I think. When you think about it, it's really down to surrender and being like, it's okay, they'll understand. Because who am I trying to please? Who am I trying to please? Is it God, or is it like just people? And it's always God.
Audience
of one. It's always my creator. Like,
audience
always.
of one. That's how it is. Well, this was good. We went through a lot. We went through a lot today, guys. I hope you guys got something. If you got anything from this, drop it in the comments. Let me know if you like these hot seat episodes. I feel like they're like warm seats, because we ain't playing with people's lives here. We being real, okay? So it's like, it's a safe seat. Maybe we should call it a safe seat episode. But this was amazing. Give them your Instagram handles, how they can find you, work with you, and do business with you.
Absolutely. So Happy Investor Method, the one with the actual blue check, is me, Ange Matthews. And you can check out our site at happyinvestormethod.com for a whole heap of freebies, similar to just like audio podcasts or whatever it is that floats your boat. But I'm here to show you the way to make your wealth work for you whenever you're ready.
I love that. All right, guys. I will see you next time on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. Oh.
Yeah. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.